Welcome to the Measuring Success in Co-Production Learning by Doing video introduction. Hi, I'm Vanessa. Aleem and I will try and give you some background, explain the outputs from this programme and how we hope the legacy of this work will evolve. So, Aleem, what is Measuring Success programme?
Hi, I'm Aleem from Co-Production Collective, and the Measuring Success programme followed on from the value of co-production work that we reported on in 2022. That project found that the impacts of co-production are often underexplored and that evaluation is also often underreported. However, that work did demonstrate that if co-production is applied appropriately for the specific sectors in which the work is being done, the context, and with sufficient resource, it can have many benefits. Such benefits shouldn't only consider the outcomes, we think, but also the journey. So exploring evaluation and impacts was the focus of this programme, which was funded by a Research England Participatory Research Fund with additional funding from the Academy of Medical Sciences and UCL Grand Challenges. Our ethos for the programme was it to be a supportive funding programme that added value to co-production journeys. It was co-produced by a programme team of 14 people, and that included Vanessa and I and other co-production collective staff, co-producers, the evaluation exchange, who were a collaboration between UCL and Compost London, and our co-funders, UCL Grand Challenges and the Academy of Medical Sciences. We funded 8 projects in January 2024, and then we all came together online with 8 project teams, 5 times to deliver evaluation and co-production support sessions. And we also provided additional support as we went along, in addition to the formal support sessions, and the project teams reported in September 2024.
Thanks, Aleem. So what were we trying to find out in the programme?
So our aim was to try and gain a better understanding of the conditions required for good co-production and evaluation across mental health, well-being and climate change contexts and projects. And some examples of what we mean by conditions include, for example, planning realistic goals and timelines, the challenges of balancing openness and transparency with confidentiality, and being prepared for people to leave co-produced projects. And these were all things that our co-production team for the programme experienced throughout the journey and had to deal with. However, we also wanted to explore how to support people who can be working in very different areas or sectors with this programme. And our emphasis throughout the development of the work has been on exploring meaning while learning more about co-production processes. By that we mean how it's done, and the impacts of the work or the effects. And so this is very much about the full journey of the co-production projects and not just an end destination. So from the start, we were very keen to understand if and how the principles of co-production were applied and how these related to the conditions that help to optimize the processes of co-production and evaluation. And so, Vanessa, may I ask you, how can people discover more about what we found?
So our full findings are spread across a number of different outputs. These have all been informed by working with the 8 project teams, the reports they've submitted, and evidence we've collected from our own programme team, which we think of as the 9th team. So to summarise what we've produced as a result of all of this work, first we've developed a quick read document, which is also a section in the main report. And this is to help readers familiarise with the background to the programme and read about some of the top line findings and key learning points. Second, there is the full report, which includes the methods and the challenges that the Measuring Success team and the 8 project teams encountered. We promised to combine and anonymise data to encourage sharing of challenges, which are often less reported. And this is what we've done. So this report describes in detail the findings around 3 key areas. Number 1, evaluating our approach to participatory research funding. And by this we mean funding that recognises the importance of including diverse perspectives and voices in determining how financial resources are allocated, so not top down, so it's unlike other research funding. Number 2, optimising the conditions for co-production. And by conditions, we mean circumstances that might influence how co-production is effectively started and how well the principles or values are enacted, as well as other underlying factors, such as context, systems, and individual factors that Aline referred to earlier. And number 3, co-producing evaluation and evaluating co-production. And by evaluation, we mean a continuous process that helps you understand and measure the difference a co-production programme, project, or process makes. Finally, incorporating the wealth of data across the project teams, we've developed a reflective learning resource and some reflective templates that you can adapt as a starting point. This is intentionally not designed as a checklist, framework, or toolkit. And the reason it's not any of those things is because our data indicates that each co-produced project is very dependent on its specific context, its individual circumstances, individual team members, and dynamics in which it's working. So rather than a checklist, we've included open questions to support a flexible learning by doing approach. We hope these will help you consider and prioritise what's most important for your specific context throughout your co-production project. We hope that this humanises the process of co-production and makes it easier to understand and engage with.
Thanks, Ness. And what do you hope that the legacy might be from the programme?
Well, a key goal of this programme was to measure success in co-production. And our reflection is that all of these terms may translate to different meanings for individuals, organisations, or institutions. So by evaluating or measuring aspects of the co-production process and not the people sensitively, our findings support and extend those from the value of co-production work done in 2022. And we hope as a legacy of this work is to use all of the findings that are drawn into the report and resource to help shift the way we work towards optimising co-production, evaluating sensitively, and adding value in the journey. And within the resource, we've asked for feedback to help understand the impact this approach has over time as you start to use and reflect on it. And we'd like to know how we can further support creating and understanding the value in co-production. So I'm just going to hand back over to Aline now for some final highlights.
Thanks, Vanessa. So this programme wouldn't have been possible or as insightful as we think it is without the 8 project teams. So massive thanks to them up and down the country. We'd really recommend that you read the project summaries or case studies of the 8 projects, and you can find those in the full report. So these will direct you to various different outputs from the project teams. And we really think that this brings the programme to life. We're going to leave you with a few highlights of those. And we sincerely hope that you enjoy reading and learning more about the programme. And finally, I'd just like to thank the programme team of 14 people, which, as I said before, includes co-producers, co-production collective staff, the evaluation exchange, and our co-funders. And I'm just going to leave you now with a short reel of some of the outputs from the 8 project teams. Cheers.
Welcome to the Aphasia New Music Groups. We have created new songs with new musics and new lyrics. We have been inspired by our own experiences, our own ideas and feelings, often related to living with communication difficulties.
At step 1, in a recovery centre, in a hostel, my life began to change.
Explained that it was like a day place where she was kind of coming and going. I kind of really didn't have much faith in it, but then that in itself showed my mum's resilience and how much she did want to get better, because she was presenting at this place every single day, going home to such a chaotic environment and not relapsing. And I think that was just such a big turning point in the story of, this is really going to work, this is helping, this is amazing. Obviously couldn't thank Oak Trees enough for bringing my mum back.
What we would like is for you to be a service user, but not an actual one, you know, one that was, isn't anymore. You know, ideally one who's recovered.